De'Aaron, historic night for you, franchise record 60 points. To be in that kind of a zone, just sort of take us through your thoughts and sort of how, you were attacking and going about getting your points tonight.
I think, like I said last game, just making a point of emphasis on keep touching the paint. Obviously, I shot 10 threes, but besides maybe the last two, I felt like all of them were open. So just continuing to try to touch the paint. Obviously, I have one of the best shot blockers to ever play the game, but if he's not stepping up my floater, you shoot it. If he does step up, we get dump offs. If they start to help, I kick it out. So I don't know how many times I touched the paint tonight, but it was for sure a lot.
De'Aaron, I know it goes result normally first before performance individually, but are you allowing yourself to at least relish in the fact that you hit a franchise career high?
Yeah, I would have loved to get this win. Obviously, I would have rather us get the rebound in the fourth and won the game there and not even have gotten to 60. So, of course, I wanted to get the win, but obviously at the end of the day, like that type of performance, that type of accomplishment is nothing to just breathe over and let it go. But yeah, it's definitely cool. But obviously, I definitely wanted to get the win.
De'Aaron, for whatever reason, these cup games seem to have some sort of extra, boost for you guys. Do you feel that when you guys are out there?
I think definitely a little bit. Like whenever we were down, I think we ended up getting it to 12 or 13, or they ended up getting up by 12 or 13. And you can hear their bench yo, we need the points because I think they lost to Portland by 12 or 14, one of the two. So everybody makes an emphasis on that. And obviously they would have wanted to, keep the game, a blowout. But for us, we're also playing for that. But we wanted to win the game at the end of the day. Obviously, especially when we're down by that much, you wanna make it respectable because at the end of the day. Obviously, they're 1-1. Hopefully next time we have a cup game at some point, we're going to be 1-1. Portland, if they lose, they'll be 1-1 at some point. And then you start looking at the head-to-heads, the point spreads, and all of those things start to matter. So I definitely think they've done a great job at doing that. And even the last play with 2 seconds left, we were prepared to play defense. We're down 4. And obviously we're thinking about the point spread. And, they had a play drawn up, and we thought that they were going to try to go score. And obviously, a lot of times you see guys and they take it as disrespect, but I think with everybody kind of knowing what's on the line, everybody's playing to the last whistle.
Oh, yeah. De'Aaron, Timberwolves went up by 20 points in that middle third, but you guys, you countered that, by opening up the fourth quarter with a 14-0 run. At what point did you know, hey, it's go time, it's time to go because you scored 20 points in that fourth frame?
Yeah, we scored 30. We scored 33 as a team in the fourth, and that's not even the highest that we've scored. But I think in the first, from 12 minutes to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they only scored 4 points. So I think that's where we really made it a game. If you can go half the quarter and they've made 2 baskets, you put yourself in a great position to win. And I think for us, I think where we really hurt ourselves was. When we had the 5-on-4, when Julius's shoe came off and we come up in that possession empty, those are the little things that definitely hurt you. And I think after that, we kind of lost a little bit of momentum.
Hey Fox, first off, did you mention to Keegan that you finally passed his 47?
I did. I got to walk past his locker to come up here. So, but he was like, "But we lost." I said, "If you would have shot the fucking ball, we would have been fine right there." But I definitely let him know. He did it against Utah, so that doesn't count. Last year, that doesn't count.
Fox, kind of going back to the defense, too, the Timberwolves were shooting in mid-50s from the field, around 50% from three-point range going into that fourth quarter, and the percentages plummeted in the fourth. What specifically defensively did you see that you guys were able to do to get them to start missing shots?
I think a big thing for us was the ball pressure. I think we started having ball pressure, and then we shrunk behind. Obviously, they were making shots, but you continue to trust the chase. You continue to trust, the foundation of our defense. And at some point, they'll start missing. Obviously, we want to continue to contest every shot, and we try to call it high five contest. And obviously, we have to try to make Ant see bodies, try to get off the ball. And obviously, he did make big shots in the fourth and in overtime. But you have to trust the foundation of the defense that we have. And I think we've done a good job this year, to be honest. And in that fourth quarter, I think if we can put together we've had some good games this year, but if we could put together, a full 48 of the way that we played in the fourth quarter defensively, I mean, they might have had 2 or 3 wide open shots because of, getting us in rotation. But I think all in all in that fourth quarter, that was one of the best quarters that we had defensively. And I think we were down 16 and being able to come back like that, like giving up less than 20 points in a quarter to any team in the league, like that's a tough thing to do, and you want to replicate that as much as possible.
De'Aaron, obviously it's bittersweet scoring 60 and not, getting the victory, but did you learn anything about yourself, or did it confirm anything that you already knew about yourself?
I mean, I knew I was nice already, so I wouldn't really say so, but I mean, just knowing the type of teammates that I had, like Malik's, I think whenever I had 48, like we're in the fourth quarter, Malik's like, you might as well go get 60. And I'm like, I want this game to end in the fourth quarter, so I don't even want to have the opportunity to. But I mean, all my teammates wanted me to keep going, obviously. And but at the end of the day, I think to win these type of games, like you have to do it, as a team. And at times, whenever I'm getting like Rudy pulled out, and I'm not chasing the ball, guys are looking at me like, come get the ball. But me being kind of how I am, I'm like, yo, we have the best shot blocker in the league he's probably second behind. He's second behind Victor now, but the best shot blocker ever. He's standing at the 3-point line. He doesn't want me to get the ball. So as for me, I'm like, go to the basket, touch the paint. If we miss, we more than likely are going to get an offensive rebound because he doesn't want to leave my body. So, but I already knew I was nice.
You tired at all?
Am I tired?
Were you tired at all in any of that?
I think midway through the fourth, like I got tired and I came out for about 2 minutes, and I think we still had a good stint at that time. So it was definitely a good time to get rest. But to be honest, I'm really not more tired than I've been in other games.
Yeah, and then obviously Edwards had that big dagger. I mean, I'm just wondering, saw that moment with you guys after. Just curious if you might be able to shed light on.
Yeah, man. I think whenever I hit my 3 on him, he was like, tough shot, and then he comes down and I foot on the line, shot over 2 guys. I'm like, that's whenever you got it going, and he's trying to string people out. We're trying to double him, get the ball out of his hands. That's the way that you take over games. You have to make tough shots like that, and regardless if it was a 2 or a 3, it made it a 2-possession game, and that's what you do to carry your team to a win. I was like, that's a tough ass shot, boy. Like shooting the ball over 2 people, regardless of where you are. He had it going, so the rim starts looking like an ocean.
Yeah, De'Aaron, congrats on 60. What does the challenge tomorrow? What does that tomorrow present for you guys? Obviously, a team that on paper you theoretically should have a good game against. What do you have to do mentally to kind of prepare for that and come out with all the energy that you hope to have in a back-to-back?
I mean, we're 0-2 against Minnesota. Portland's 2-1 against Minnesota. So, I mean, it's a young team, but at the end of the day, they're long, they're athletic. They just got Shaedon Sharpe back. They're playing well. They've been playing well the last like week or so. So we have to let this game go and be ready to play tomorrow. I mean, that's a team that's physical. They're a young team, so they don't have anything to lose. They go out there, they play hard. They play as hard as anybody in the league. So. We can't dwell on this game. We have to be better in back-to-backs. I don't think we won a back-to-back this year yet. So you can't look at that team like they're just going to lay down, because that team comes out and they play defense, they rebound, they offensive rebound, they do everything in the hustle stats well, and they're continuing to grow.
De'Aaron, what does it take mentally and mindset-wise to come back from where you were as a team at the end of the third quarter and put on a display as you did in the fourth? Obviously, a lot of people talk about in the league now, like a 20-point lead, the game's not over. And, I think that's as true as ever, and that's as true as it's ever going to be. We felt like if we were able to get stops offensively, that we would be able to put the ball in the basket. And, I think we had 82 going into the fourth. That's enough points to either be in the game or even be up in the game. And we knew that the problem lied in our defense. We gave up 98 points in 3 quarters. That's not going to win you a game. So we felt like if we were able to be better on that end of the court, that we'd be back in the game.
I'll start with the obvious. To see Fox go for a franchise record 60, what was that like to be a part of, to watch, and just how much, I guess, did you know that he had that kind of stuff in him?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've said before, when he's aggressive all the time, like, he's extremely tough to stop. So I think that was just a representation of him being aggressive the entire game, and that's what, he's capable of.
Hey, Keegan, obviously it's it seems like it's easy to play with a guy when he's going like that, but how much pressure comes to you when he's cooking like that, and then you get a shot, and what is that like?
I mean, in a way it's difficult just because you want to get him the ball because he's going. So you have to find a balance of when to give him the ball because he's hot, and obviously pick a moment in a spot when you can either shoot a three or things like that. So, but I mean, I feel like we did a solid job of figuring out how to play when he was hot today.
Keegan, I know you guys have a really good relationship, but he said he walked by your locker and made sure you knew that he passed your career high. Just how cool is that, though, that relationship and you guys pushing each other like that?
I think it's really cool, especially because he was kind of my first, I guess, friend in the league. So to have that kind of, I would say, kind of like a brother rivalry thing going on is cool. And obviously he's going to let me know about it. But he played a great game today. So.
Man, our guys, they battled, they fought. Plenty of opportunities to give up, especially being shorthanded. We had Malik out and DeMar out, and then Domas went down with cramps in his back, and our guys found a way. And man, my man Foxy showed up tonight. Give those guys credit. Minnesota played a hell of a game. They shot the three ball very well. It seems like when they play against us, they knock down those threes, and they had another big night from the three-point line against us tonight. We didn't shoot it as well as we wanted to, but it's a lesson learned for all of us. And not just Keon. Bless you if that was a sneeze, but down the stretch, we moved the ball. Keon had a wide open shot from three, and he drove the ball. And we keep telling our guys to let it fly, let it fly, let it fly. If you're open, you got to shoot the ball because you're going to get a worse shot if you don't, especially when you have guys like Gobert and Edie and Klingon and Wemby, all these big guys at the rim. Sitting back there, we can't drive it and shoot over the top of them. If we're going to drive the basketball, we got to get in there and we got to spray it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep telling our guys, because I believe in all of them as shooters, we got to let it fly. But our guys did a fantastic job of fight, led by Fox and Domas, but of fighting to get back in the ball game. We just have to continue understanding when we're open, shoot the ball, and don't drive and try to shoot over the top. And we did it early in the game, 2 or 3 possessions in a row where we drove in there and tried to shoot over the top of their guys that are 6'10", and then Gobert, who's 7'3", and took tough shots. We don't want to do that. We want to play off of 2 feet, keep your dribble in order to play off of 2 feet, or keep your dribble in order to spray the basketball. But again, It hurts because our guys fought so hard to give us a chance, and we had a really, really good chance. But you got to give Minnesota credit. They did a heck of a job knocking down big shot after big shot when they needed it.
Coach, how do you describe how do you describe what you saw from De'Aaron down the stretch? What do you tell a guy like that when he's that on fire with the greenest of lights down the stretch?
He's an all-star, and the sky is the limit for him. He knew we needed help, and he put us on his back, and he almost carried us to the finish line, but he did everything in his power to get us there, and it was a spectacular performance by him. But I will say this, he's more than capable of getting to his spot and getting a good look every time down, no matter who's defending him.
Mike, two things for you real quick.
Yeah.
You've been a part of a lot of big games in your career. At what point do you realize in a night like tonight, like, oh, this is one of those ones?
I don't know. I didn't think of it that way. You try to win the game no matter who's in front of you. Our crowd was fantastic. The energy that our guys got from the crowd helped give us a boost. But I guess I don't think of it as a big game. I just thought it was a game to win. And obviously Fox was having a big game, and that was probably fun for the fans to watch. But didn't really think of it that way.
And then obviously you can't expect anywhere near 60 every night. But what do you think about how he was able to score that tonight can carry over?
I tell you what, man, when he wants to get to his spot, whether that's to the rim or right inside the paint, there's nobody that could stop him. He's that good. He's freaking the fastest guy in the league. He's strong. He's long. He's athletic. He's got a really good feel. And the sky, I keep saying this on both ends of the floor, the sky's the limit for him. Hell of a game.
Coach Brown, the Timberwolves, they came out in that third quarter with a 12-0 run, but then started that fourth quarter. That's when you guys got it going on. Did you say anything, hey, we're still in this game even though we're 16 points down? Because that's when the Kings went on a 14-2 run or 14-0 run at that time.
Yeah, it was just a lot of time left in the basketball game, and we just kept telling our guys and encouraging them. Malik was fantastic on the bench. I mean, Malik, he was talking an awful lot to all of our guys, encouraging our guys, helping our guys out, and so that was huge for us too, for guys to feel his presence during the game. But all of us, we just kept telling them there's a lot of time left. We got to string some stops together. Foxy kept saying, string some stops together, and then let's get out and let's run and see what we can get in the open court against these guys. Don't let them get their defense set. And we found a combination that worked. I think J-Mac was on the floor at the time. Fox was on the floor, Trey, Keegan, and maybe Doug. And that group did a nice job trimming into the lead some, but it started with us getting stops on the defense end of the floor. Because, again, even if we're not shooting it well, we're eventually going to break out of whatever shooting slump we have.
Mike, again, 60 points is a franchise record for you guys dating all the way back to the beginning of time for the Kings. Just where does this, for you, sort of place in your time with the Kings, watching a player have a moment like this, and how can he build off of something like this?
Like I said, and we talked about a little bit before the game, we want to encourage him to keep trying to get downhill, keep trying to put pressure on the defense because it's going to make the game easier for everybody else. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, huge performance, spectacular, gave us an opportunity to win versus a very good defensive team with length. And, it's tough because a lot of people are going to talk about the 60 points, which they should, but it's tough because we lost the game. And so for me, I know probably for most of the guys, I'm thinking about that a little bit more than the 60 points, although the 60 points was impressive.
Coach, another 60-point question, but when you got a guy going like that, how much does that change the game plan, and how do you kind of coach up the other guys with helping them out and trying to get that victory?
We got to defend. If you got a guy that's cooking like that, you got to defend. You got to box out. McDaniels had a big offensive rebound. We get that rebound, we go up, 5 or whatever, 4, and we're in control of the game. But everybody else has to do the little things. They gotta embrace the little things to try to get over the hump. And if they send 2 guys at them or 3 guys at them, if you're open, you gotta let it fly. You gotta let it fly, and that's what we keep telling our guys, that you have a guy like Fox is generating all that attention. We got to embrace the details or the little things to try to get the win while taking any open shot that we get from anybody else.
Mike, can you share anything just that we might not have seen or heard in terms of what was on the floor, on the sideline, the leadership, that was either coming from Fox or the encouragement that he was getting from coaches, teammates. Just can you take us kind of inside the huddle, so to speak, just a little bit?
I mean, you said it yourself. Everybody was, hey, we got to defend. We got to defend. Foxy was like, we got to string some stops together. Malik was talking to everybody. He was keeping everybody's heads up, their spirits up. You could feel, we all felt Malik's presence on the sidelines, and so it was a great vibe. It was a great vibe on the sidelines, and that has to continue going forward because we need it from everybody.
Mike McLaughlin, you mentioned a little earlier, on the floor during that big push to start the fourth quarter. These last 2 games giving you some really solid minutes.
Yeah.
I know you're still trying to figure out with the training camp and everything, figure out this rotation, but what have you seen out of him over these last 2 games, and how comfortable are you with finding the right spots for him?
He's been fantastic, man. He's a guy that could take some pressure off of Fox because he can play pick and roll. He's got a good feel. He's going to make the right play usually with the basketball. And then he's kind of crafty defensively. He knows how to play great positional defense. He can harass the ball a little bit, and if you leave him open, he's going to shoot that rock. So he's been great for us. And then what a great guy too. And I got to find opportunities to get him more time on the floor.